welcome to Stirring the Pot Podcast Season 2, a podcast all about discussing controversial food subjects, historical aspects of food, and pretty much everything else food and cooking related. Welcome back to both my co-hosts. First up, we have Mr. Barbecue Brand, our very own pitmaster and a past guest featured on Food Network's Barbecue USA. Welcome back, Barbecue Brand.
What is cooking, everybody? It feels good to be back.
Next up, we have Mr. Brandon D., our resident food science nerd and Southern cuisine connoisseur. Welcome back, Brandon D.
Thank you, everybody. Welcome back to Season 2. We're about to get this kicked off.
I am your host and cookie queen, KCP. For our first episode of Season 2, we want to make sure that you're ready for the big game coming up. We want to make sure you throw a very successful party. But first up, hey guys, how y'all doing?
Doing well.
For sure. Everybody had good holidays. We had a nice little break in between all of these episodes. So
we had a good holidays. Made some gumbos of herbs. It came out fantastic. It's been a good start to the year. New year, new season. Let's get it going.
Yeah, make sure y'all go check out that our little shorts and everything that we put out on the YouTube channel too. The Gumbo's Herbs was a hit, to say the least.
Yes,
it was quite a hit. In fact, Brandon D's mom wouldn't let us leave her house with the leftovers.
She would not, so we gave them to her.
We couldn't bring any leftovers back to Houston. That was our toll, I guess, for staying at our house. We had to leave the gumbo there.
That's a low rent right there. That's a low rent.
I don't know. That gumbo was so good. I was kind of sad. We couldn't bring that home.
Yeah, we got to do that again. That's not the last time.
Excellent,
absolutely. Excellent. Next time we'll have our ducks in order a little bit better than we did first time. Poor Braxton. You swear he was starving to death.
It was a process. It was a lot of unknowns. We didn't know how long the greens would take to cook. We didn't know how, we had an idea of everything else, but there's a lot of components coming together for that gumbo.
We've gotten together and had some more elaborate dishes that's taken longer than that, though. I mean,
absolutely.
We've thrown down on some stuff that's, we're eating at 10 o'clock at night, but you know what?
Right.
Yeah. Right.
When you're cooking, you don't care,
Yeah.
It's the people that's not a part of the process that's like, what is going on in this kitchen? A whole lot of love. That's what.
Yeah.
Exactly. So yeah, we had some barbecue competitions in between the last filming.
Right.
Barbecue Brand sweeping up in Texas, showing those Texas boys how it's done.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, top 10 is that was a big deal for me for my first comp over there. I had no idea what I was going to be facing or what the flavor profiles were. So
I mean that's a 100-team cook-off too. So that was a very good result. I also have to plug my rodeo cook-off team, Just in Time Cookers. We came in 10th in ribs at the Humble Rodeo Cook-Off. So we're pretty excited about that too.
Big ups to Just in Time for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
So, all right, guys, let's jump into this. I know we have the big game coming up soon.
We most certainly do, between the professional football team from Kansas City and the professional football team from San Francisco, but they don't play in San Francisco. They play 50 miles outside of San Francisco or something like that.
Right.
They repping.
Is that the new stadium? Didn't they tear down the old stadium or something?
Yeah, the old one was, what was it, Candlebox Stadium?
Yeah.
Candlestick.
Candlestick.
Yeah, Candlestick.
That was Candlestick.
Something like that. So I'll just jump straight into that part. The NFL restricts the use of the phrase Super Bowl for advertising purposes. Companies come up with creative alternatives, such as referring to it as the big game. Interesting. I have a few little fun facts for us before we jump into, the meat and potatoes of it all. The NFL officially formed in 1920, but the Super Bowl wasn't played until more than 40 years later. In 1960, a group of businessmen who wanted to own football franchises but were denied by the NFL launched an alternative league known as the American Football League. for several years, the NFL and AFL were rivals, competing for fans, players, and support. Then, in 1966, owners negotiated an agreement to merge the leagues by 1970. Pretty interesting, huh?
That's pretty interesting, yep.
Yeah. So, according to Sports Illustrated, Super Bowl Sunday is the second largest food consumption day in the United States behind, what do y'all think is the first?
Thanksgiving?
Yeah, I was going to say Christmas.
Thanksgiving is number one. Yep.
Thanksgiving's all about the food, nothing else but food.
True. That's true.
Yep.
It's the fat boy's ultimate holiday.
This is true. Very true. 1 in 7 Americans will order takeout, and 60% of those orders are for pizza. Over a billion with a B, billion chicken wings are eaten. It is estimated that Americans will consume around 8 million pounds of avocados.
Wow, a lot of guac.
That's 4,000 tons.
That's a lot of guac.
Lord.
That is a lot. Okay, let's see. What else do I have here? There has never been a shutout in Super Bowl history.
I hope that trend continues.
Right.
No one wants to see that.
No. Although there have been ones that have been very, very bad.
Oh gosh, yeah. So let's see. On Super Bowl Sunday, Americans will spend $1.3 billion on beer.
That's a lot.
That's a lot. I mean, they have to pay for those Super Bowl ads, right?
I'm one of those consumers. Right? I'm a statistic.
The very first Super Bowl ticket in 1967 cost how much y'all think it cost?
I'd say $10.
Barbecue Brain?
Back when? What was the year?
1967.
To go to the Super Bowl? A ticket to go? Yeah, I'd probably say around I'll say $16.
$12.
Oh.
You went over.
Dang. B got the showcase.
Yeah.
B won the showcase on that one.
Lucky guess. I have no clue. I'm not that, but inflation. Yeah, $10 was quite a bit back then, but it's how much is it now?
That's not what it is now. Do you know who makes the Lombardi Trophy?
Is it Jostens?
It's a famous jeweler, though.
Tiffany's.
Tiffany's.
Yeah. Tiffany's makes the Lombardi Trophy.
They bougie.
Oh, quite. I mean, it's the Super Bowl, right? What do y'all think are the top 10 Super Bowl foods based on Google searches?
Chicken wings got to be number one.
Yeah, chicken wings, pizza.
Burgers? Hot dogs?
Nope. I'll read it to you. Chicken wings comes in 6th. Believe it or not. I know, right? They those chicken wings, and they're coming in.
Try to buy chicken wings on Super Bowl Sunday is damn near impossible.
Right? So number one, meatballs.
I'd not have guessed that.
Wow.
You gotta have those barbecue meatballs in the crock pot with the cocktail weenies.
It makes sense because I remember I was making meatballs when we went to my friend's house to watch the Seahawks play the Broncos in Super Bowl 48, which was one of the worst games I've ever seen in football history, period. I mean, bad. I mean, we're just watching. Football. We're not even watching the game. We're just talking and just ignoring the game. It was that bad. But I remember going to try to find ground meat, and it was pretty tough.
Yep, meatballs. People love their meatballs. Mm-hmm. Number 2 is guacamole with all those 4,000 tons of avocados. Man, 3 chips and salsa.
That's a dip. That's not even like a main course.
Well, these are searches for like what people are searching for on Google, like the most popular searches for all of this. So yeah, buffalo wings comes in number 6, and last is spinach and artichoke dip. So kind of a mix of all of that. But one thing that kind of sticks out on here is hummus. That comes in at number
That's on the
7.
list? Whoa.
Right under buffalo wings. But this is just searches, so maybe people are trying to figure out how to make their own, and I don't know.
Yeah.
Surely not a difficult task.
Well, looks like I'm going to be doing a video on meatballs this week. Try to hack this algorithm.
Exactly, right? We talked about the most boring Super Bowl game. Brandon D touched on that. What do you think is the most exciting one has been?
Oh, that's so subjective. I mean, obviously.
Right.
I got on my Jonathan Vilma right now, you know.
Nah.
Quite subjective.
But to the masses, I know you're asking the question to the masses. It's probably maybe an old one. Maybe one of those Bills games or the 49ers whenever.
Yeah, the Bills game when they lost the I don't know Super Bowl numbers that well. When the Bills game versus the Giants when they lost with that field goal wide right, I mean, that was a pretty exciting game. I mean, I was a small kid and I remember seeing that and I was like, oh man, I felt so bad for that kicker. I was like, wow. It's like the guy was good all season and just muffed the kick and it was not good.
Time won't heal that.
I would say the one in the one in 99 was I can't, like I said, I'm bad with Super Bowl numbers. That's Super Bowl 33. If I'm not mistaken, that was the Titans versus the Rams, and the Titans came up like a yard short on the goal line.
Was that 99? I remember watching that.
I remember seeing that. Yeah, I think it was 99.
Yeah, that was a heartbreaker too for them.
Oh yeah, because I think in 2000, I think the Ravens won.
Mm-hmm.
Which one?
2000 or 2001.
That was the 90. Okay. It was the 99 season. That's what it was. So it was the 1999. And that's the one that they came up a yard short. And I believe this is Super Bowl 33 or 34. 34. Okay. I was close. I'm not good with Roman numerals. I just don't care. I mean,
it doesn't play a part in daily life. That's why
pretty much.
Right.
I don't have the capacity for it.
The Arabic numeral system has proven that it's far superior to the Roman. So
right. Do you know why Roman numerals are used to count the Super Bowls?
It looks cool.
No, because it runs into 2 calendar years.
Oh, okay.
So that's why they do it. Fun fact. I'm full of facts tonight.
There you go.
I know.
But I have to say that Rams Titans was pretty exciting. Let's see, next year that was the Ravens. That was they killed the Giants. Then after that it was the Patriots. They won their first Super Bowl. They won on a last second field goal. Adam Vinatieri, Tom Brady's first. So there's been a lot of exciting games. Let's see the Bengals and the 49ers. What Super Bowl was that? Was Joe Montana? That was a long time ago.
Yeah,
that was a long time ago. That was in the 80s. That has to be like Super Bowl 23. Oh, I know that Roman number. Super Bowl 23 was an exciting one.
That's an easy one.
Right.
Yeah.
X we don't get confused, so we get L's and V's.
The L's and V's start killing me. I'm like, I don't know about that.
Mm-hmm.
So Super Bowl 23, the Bengals versus the 49ers. That's probably one of the most exciting games in history. There's a lot of great moments in there, game-winning drives. Man, one of my favorite football players of all time, Ronnie Lott, hitting Ickey Woods and just knocking him back. Just totally changed the tone of that game. The guy was never the same after that.
Great moments.
Great moments. Jerry Rice, Joe Montana. I mean, Boomer Esiason, Ickey Woods. I mean, Ronnie Lott. Just a classic NFL game right there.
Absolutely. Well, let's get into the nitty gritty of this, guys. Let's talk about the food. How are we going to throw this party? Let's talk about the appetizers. What are the best appetizers? What do you guys like to serve at your parties when you throw it? Let's get into it. And of course, we have to lead off with wings.
Wings are good.
Wings are so near and dear to my heart. I love wings. I love cooking wings. I love eating wings. They're just amazing. So
chicken wings are like one of my favorite, favorite food. Just You can't beat chicken wings, man.
It's the best part of the chicken.
Really is, yeah. I mean, chicken, but those chicken thoughts are good too, man.
Hashtag chicken thoughts.
Hashtag that.
Hashtag thoughts.
So here's where the controversy starts. You breaded or non-breaded?
It depends on the cooking method.
It's true.
It depends on what you want to do. So if I'm frying them, I like breaded. But in one of our earlier episodes, I think it was the frying episode, right? A Time to Fry. Mm-hmm. I talked about how to fry some really good chicken wings. So I like them breaded. You don't have to have them super crunchy to where you're tearing all your mott up. Your palate is all ripped to shreds. You can fry chicken the right way, and it's delightful if it's breaded. But if I'm grilling them or if I'm smoking them, I'm not gonna have them breaded. Obviously, you can just season them up, throw them on there. So it's an easy food to cook, and it's really rewarding.
I would say, the thing about breaded chicken versus non-breaded, if you're cooking a lot, I would say go with unbreaded because it's going to keep better. It's not going to get soggy. And if you're making a lot, man, breading is just going to just absolutely wreck your fryer. So it just depends. If you're making a few, you're not making too many, you can do some breaded ones. I like a light breading on wings if I have them breaded. Or you can do them unbreaded. They're fantastic both ways. But if you're making a lot of them, save yourself the trouble and have them unbreaded. If you want to kind of make the frying process quicker and make them crispy, you can actually pre-cook them, pre-bake them, get them all the way cooked, and just give them a flash fry, and that'll make them give the skin a nice crispy texture too.
That's a really good point, B. I didn't think about that. So it really depends on the size of your party too. Are you throwing a party or are you throwing a get together?
Right.
If you're throwing a party, you don't want to bread all of those wings and
absolutely
trying to keep them hot.
Yeah, a party you definitely because you're gonna take wings take 13, 15 minutes to fry.
If you're doing whole wings, probably about that long. If you're doing, if you're separating the little drummy in the flat, then you're looking at about 7 minutes. But
right, so you could take your fry down from 7 minutes to 2. So if you're making a lot, pre-baking your wings and then giving them a flash fry is a great method. You could also pre-smoke them and then fry them as well. Mm-hmm. But you got to be careful of the seasoning because if your seasoning's real heavy, you can make the wings pretty dark.
That's a good idea, actually.
Especially if it has sugar in it. If it has sugar in it, don't put it in the fryer.
That's a disaster waiting to happen.
The sugary sauce goes on after you fry them, not before.
So what are some good wing alternatives? What if you can't find wings? What if you are a last minute shopper? You're like, they don't have any wings. What do I do?
Man, some good sliders. Sliders are always a good idea. It's a mini burger or it's a mini sandwich. It's a great party food. So
absolutely.
You can make some burger sliders. You can make some ham and cheese sliders. You can even make pulled pork sliders. Pulled pork is one of those things that are it's screaming for you to cook that for a party. So you can cook that ahead of time.
It stretches so far.
I have never cooked pulled pork and not ended up freezing a part of it.
Never.
No, it's like you can't eat it. It's like it's good the first day, it's good the second day, the third day. You're like, no, let's go in the freezer. So another alternative is you could do something like a buffalo chicken dip or a buffalo chicken sandwich. You could make you could maybe take chicken breasts and coat them in a buffalo sauce and grill them up or something like that. That's also, if you want that kind of hot sauce and vinegar flavor, you could do something like that. Sandwiches are a good idea. You could do, hey, everybody's, what's a great one? Everybody's down for tacos. Tacos are easy.
Oh, that's a good idea.
I was just about to talk about that. So
tacos are a great idea. You cook a bunch of meat, you make some pico, you get some cheese, you get some salsa, you can get all kind of toppings, and then you get a bunch of tortillas. You can make a lot of food for a lot of people without costing you a lot of money. And the meat just has to be simple, just chicken, pork, beef, whatever you want to do.
Absolutely. And, some of those things kind of go from one item to the next. Like if you already going to have chips and salsa out, you have salsa for your tacos, you have pico for your tacos. So it all you're not duplicating anything. It's just kind of all going together,
I can't tell you how many times I've cooked multiple things for a get together or a party, and somebody at the party will end up, some innovator at the party will end up putting one thing that I've cooked on another thing I've cooked, and they're like, "You got to try this." So yeah, just make it happen. Throw some stuff together. People are gonna love it.
Absolutely.
Well, the Super Bowl happens in the wintertime, so chili's always a great option too.
Absolutely, chili. Oh,
feeds a crowd, not super expensive.
Everybody loves Frito pie.
Yeah.
Chili, you could put, oh yeah.
If we have some people that are not from Louisiana or Texas, Frito pie is corn chips covered with chili, with cheese. Sometimes there's jalapenos, green onions, sour cream, and you just mix it all together and eat it.
Yeah, it's basically like chili on nachos.
Yeah, I was about to say Frito corn chip nachos is basically what it is.
Basically what it is.
And it's amazing.
Oh, it is very good.
But I mean, why does it taste so good in the little bag when they make it for you?
I don't know. Something about that.
It's nostalgia, I guess.
Hey.
Like ballpark nostalgia.
Right.
South Louisiana ballpark. Oh, and Mardi Gras.
And you got to eat it with that little plastic spoon too.
Exactly.
That regular spoon. You got to eat it with a plastic spoon.
You got to have it in the little boat so it don't burn your hands.
Yeah. The extra crappy plastic spoon, the one that barely can stand up to anything.
Yeah, if you stick it in the bag too hard, it'll break. Like one of them.
Exactly.
No, it gets too hot. It's gonna start like your fork it's gonna start melting. We've all been there trying to stab something in the what is the fork? It's called what, tines?
The tines, yeah, the little tines start. Yeah.
They curling up like Dr. Seuss.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Yeah, that's good stuff. That is an excellent idea. Oh, and what about this? This might be something new. Maybe not, maybe depending on what part of the United States you're from. Cheese curds, fried mozzarella sticks, those kinds of things.
Hey, that's always good.
Yep.
I mean, fried items are always a winner at, some kind of party as an appetizer, especially like a big game party.
Right. Yeah. A big game party. And the NFL championship game party. Let's call it that.
That's right.
There you go. So
yeah, that's a great idea because you're talking about frying, frying wings is different than frying something that you can push out pretty fast. Small things that you can just kind of dump, snacking type of foods. You can definitely break out the fryer and if you never had them, like, frying shrimp, buffalo shrimp is a good thing. There's all kind of things you can do with shrimp recipes. That's always a great option too. Super quick, very, very quick frying process.
What about tachos? But instead of tater tots, you use cheese curds.
Tachos?
Like tots, like nachos,
like tots,
but
tots,
tachos.
nachos.
Oh, okay, yeah, that's a good idea.
But cheese curd nachos, like put some of that chili on the cheese curds.
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
That's some fat boy stuff right there, but it sounds good.
Or
definitely.
The tachos or fries, and you can fry a bunch of fries, loaded fries.
Exactly.
Loaded fries are a great idea.
I went to Costco a while back, and they have those little packs of carnitas, like the meat. And we made some tacos with them, but one day we just ended up throwing it on some fries, and it was even better.
That sounds
loaded fries, great idea.
Yeah, especially if you're
nachos, a great idea too.
Oh, absolutely.
Classic nachos.
You're gonna have that pulled pork. There you go.
Man, look, there's usually pulled pork in the freezer. Sometimes, hey, look, brisket falls in that same category too. There's always some frozen brisket.
Yep, frozen brisket, frozen. And surprisingly, you will surprise yourself. I know I've surprised myself a few times. I've gotten pulled pork out of the freezer, and we've had it, and it keeps so well. Like it freezes very well. It does. For some reason, it's so good when you pull it out of the freezer. I don't know if those flavors just like marry while it's in the freezer. They got some things going on,
I think something
But
is a big part. I think the part is there's no prep in cooking it.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
no injection. There's no seasoning. There's no rubbing it down and getting it ready and trimming it and putting it on the smoker and waiting hours and wrapping it and smelling it the whole time and smelling it cook, and it smells good. But by the time you eat it, you're kind of like, it's good, but man, this is a bit much. The process is so long. By the time you eat it, sometimes you're just a little tired of smelling it.
Yeah, you're overwhelmed by everything.
I love when people barbecue for me. That's the greatest thing. Surprise barbecue from my neighbor is one of the best things. Hey, I made some ribs. Here you go. Man, perfect. I didn't have to light any fires for this.
Let me tell you, as a pit master myself and a business owner, I love when I get people barbecue for me.
Exactly.
Because sometimes I'm so used to tasting my own food that it's just nice to taste other people's food. It hits different when somebody else cooks for you.
That's
it
right.
really does. But I'm about to give everybody a super tip right here.
Oh.
For the big game, if you want to have pulled pork and you're thinking to yourself, man, I got to cook this pulled pork for how many hours? Okay, what time do I have to get up to put this thing on so that it'll be ready for when everybody comes over, blah, blah, blah. Skip all that. If you want to go through the smoking process and smoke a pork butt, by all means do it. But here's the easy way to do this. Get your pork butt, you season it up real good, you let it just sit there for about 20 minutes or so, and then you throw it in the oven at 225 degrees. And in 12 hours, you have pulled pork.
Correct.
You can do this overnight. I've done this plenty of times. Before you go to bed, you throw it in the oven at 225. And in the morning, it smells like meat heaven in your house. And you have some for breakfast. And it's the easiest way to do pulled pork. It's a very, very, very forgiving meat. So it's easy to throw in the oven, throw on the smoker, set it and forget it. You can't do it wrong. You can't mess it up.
No. I mean, we forgot. We had this competition last weekend, and we wrapped up. We do our last turn, and they're like, "Wait a minute, we have some pork butts." Our competition pork butts we didn't get to turn in because we mistimed them. So we had our competition pork butts in there. So we used some other ones for turn in. It was like, oh man, those are still in there. Didn't hurt them, man. They were covered. They had some liquid in there. It was all good.
Yep, that's it.
Pulled pork's very forgiving. You can also, this is true, you can also cook brisket in an oven as well.
Yeah.
Same kind of method. It's going to take, now brisket can take a little bit longer because it's typically a little bit bigger. So, let's say what pulled pork is usually about 5 to 8 pounds, maybe 9. 9 or 10 would be an exceptionally large pork shoulder. Brisket is anywhere from 12 pounds is a small brisket. A large one is 19 to 22 would be a big brisket. So brisket's just quite a bit bigger. So it just takes more time. A brisket would probably take 18 hours or something like that. So. Yeah,
especially if you're repurposing it. If you're making nachos and tacos and loaded nachos and all of these different things with it, you're not trying to make sliceable brisket to where it's, perfectly cooked. Man, you can cook that thing in the oven and get it to where it's good, it's cooked, it's tender. Don't undercook it. I'm not saying that, and don't supremely overcook it, but we'll have tips on that for you. But cook that brisket and it's ready to go. Slice it up, chop it up, throw it on something.
Yep,
crowd pleaser.
Like I say, man, leftover. If you have leftover brisket, I like to say flat for this because sometimes flat. You always end up with barbecue. Like when you do a brisket, it's never the whole. Rarely will the whole thing be perfect. There's always going to be bits that are not good, bits that are dry, bits that got overcooked, and you just take all that up, you chop it up, you throw it in your freezer, vacuum seal it, throw it in your freezer. Hey, Super Bowl. The big game comes around. Is brisket queso time, and it's fantastic.
Oh yes, brisket queso.
Brisket queso is awesome, and all you have to do is make regular queso and just throw some brisket, some brisket that was not the best stuff It doesn't even have to be that good. The cheese will hydrate it and it'll be perfect. It won't be dry at all. There's always going to be
that just made me think about this place that I went to in Texas, in Austin. It's a famous barbecue spot called Valentina's, and they have the best queso I have ever had in my entire life. It is that good. I highly recommend if you're around that area getting that. If you live around that area, I'd go grab something and bring that to your big game party. But
right.
When you taste it, you're not gonna want to share it. I promise you that.
Oh dang! I wonder what makes it so different.
I don't know.
Oh, it's just quality.
They mixed it. They mixed it with their toe. That's what they put their toe in it and stirred it around. That's you got to put your ankle bone in that to make something like that.
Them Austin toes.
I'll just tell you like this. Look, it's easy how to make good queso. You have to use good cheese. You can't.
Absolutely.
You can't. The quality queso is a very simple recipe. It's very simple. So the ingredients are going to what make the queso shine. You can easily oversalt. You can easily make it too salty, or you could make the cheese, where it's too, I guess you could say plasticky. It's kind of like that fake. Don't use a good melting cheese like a Jack. You can use like some American cheese to help out with the melting process. You could use cream cheese. You could use, if you want to add some zip to it, add some pecorino or some Parmesan or Parmigiano Reggiano. That'll add a little zip. That'll add some brightness to it. I would say, throw in some onions. If you want to saute onions or, anything, jalapenos, poblanos. But use good cheese. Using good cheese is going to make your queso shine more than anything.
So check this out. Here's a good way to attack this, and we're gonna talk about many more things dealing with food for this day. But we just talked about brisket and pulled pork, right? The quality that you're gonna get from that, the gap between babying it for 12 hours and cooking it when you're repurposing it, that gap, that flavor gap is very small. Do things the easy way for things that's going to be a super crowd pleaser no matter what you do, and then really put forth some effort. That way you have time that you can put forth effort to put into making a really good queso, something that you can't just throw together.
Right.
If you just have something in the refrigerator, get some good ingredients and really put forth a lot of effort into some of those type dishes rather than spending a lot of time on something that you can just really kind of throw in and cook.
I agree.
Yeah. Also, chicken thigh, like boneless, skinless chicken thighs, make great pulled chicken. All you have to do is those actually take a lot less time than pulled pork, or you can get pulled chicken in 45 minutes.
That's it. Hashtag thighs, baby.
Chicken thoughts.
Okay.
One of my favorite
save lives.
Yeah. No, but really that's right.
I'll drink to that.
One of my favorite go-to proteins is boneless, skinless chicken thighs. Very easy, affordable. You can throw it together. It's not going to take a lot of time. Takes any seasoning you want to put on it. You could do pulled chicken for tacos. You could pulled chicken for queso. Whatever you want.
That's it. Hashtag chicken thoughts is a thing for a reason.
Yeah. Chicken thoughts, they serve everybody.
Right. Oh my God.
They please. They're a crowd pleaser. Get it?
Oh my gosh.
That's going on the intro clip.
Yeah. The chicken thought showed up and pleased the whole crowd. Everybody was happy.
Let's talk about some. Okay, we talked about some dips and stuff like that. Let's talk about some alternative things. Let's say, I know keto is a big thing right now. So, what is some keto friendly kind of snacks that we could do?
Pork rinds. Pork rinds work great as a dipper for people that are watching their carbs, and for people that are watching their calories. Small sweet peppers make great dippers too.
Absolutely.
Zucchini. Cucumbers can make great dipping. For hummus, cucumbers is a good side for that. They used to make kale chips, but those things aren't good. No. Peppers, if you like peppers, like small sweet peppers make good dippers. I think that's probably one of the better ones. You can get some lighter crackers or something. That's always good to have some crackers laying around. Lighter than a corn chip or something like that.
Perfect appetizer for someone doing keto is some deviled eggs.
Oh man, deviled eggs are good.
Who doesn't like deviled eggs? Maybe Brandon.
I don't.
Barbecue Brandon.
But I will tell you that there's an alternative to deviled eggs that I've been that my sister-in-law Janie put me on to, is making almost like a whipped avocado filling for the egg. I'm with that. I'm with that.
I don't know. You remember those truffled eggs that we got from Mike with the
lobster?
With the lobster.
Say what?
Pretty good, yeah.
Wait, what you said? Some truffle?
It was a truffle deviled egg with I think it had a little bit of bacon in it, and it had some lobster meat on top of it.
Yo,
what Mike got going on over there?
Man, it was for man. Look, I tell you, Mike's a classy dude, man. Mike threw a party for his project team at his job, and he kind of went all out and threw him a really nice get together, and he gave me some leftovers that were quite amazing. And those deviled eggs were, I say they were good, man. Those things were good.
Yeah, he had it catered, right?
Yeah, he had it catered.
Yeah, it was catered.
Oh, I thought Mike was over there whipping up Michelin star dishes. I'm like, what is going on?
Mike, he found a chef that had worked for a pretty famous restaurant in Houston called Jonathan's The Rub. And that guy, he whipped up some stuff, man. I was like, he told me the spread. I can't remember all of it, but man, it was good. I do love me a deviled egg. I'm a big fan of eggs, period. So that's always a winner for me.
Yeah, there's so many different variations and so many ways to get creative when you're doing deviled eggs. It's not just the regular old deviled egg, which I love, but it's not just mayo based.
Right. You don't have to do deviled eggs mayo based. You really don't. You could just.
I've done like a deviled egg where it was like I used some. I think it's McCormick. This was a while back before I moved to Houston. It was like McCormick dried like barbecue seasoning or something. And I used that, and it was like you had that smokiness from, I guess it was like smoked paprika in it. I don't know. It was fantastic. So there's ways around it. But yeah, doing like some whipped avocados and just squirting that in there.
Avocados. You don't even have to use mayo. You can just use oil. There's no real reason.
So we did do that for a party. I mean, you can, if you're making guac anyway, you can repurpose that guac. Take some of that, throw that in an egg.
Right.
Put that in. I have a little egg tray, like a little serving platter that fits the little egg. So you can just throw that in there. Sprinkle your little something on top.
I think every Southerner has an egg platter, a deviled egg platter.
Remember, from up high though, you gotta sprinkle from high. You can't go low.
That's
high.
right. You gotta, yeah.
What about? So I had talked to Barbecue Brand about this a couple weekends ago. I made an alternative potato salad, and instead of using a mayo, I actually took some feta and put in the food processor. And added some avocado oil, some black pepper, a lot of lemon juice, lemon zest. If you would take that application and put that in a deviled egg,
that'd be pretty good. It'd be really good.
I need to taste this.
Yeah,
so good. Yeah,
man,
it would be really good. So yeah, we can't forget about deviled egg though. I mean,
that's a staple.
Now, what about this sausage? Also a good thing to do for a big game party.
Yeah, that's a good point. Very accessible. Nobody's going to be out of sausage. You can always get sausage, slice them up, put them on a platter, throw you some good mustards on there. You're good to go.
Italian, German, Cajun, whatever.
You a sausage sandwich.
Oh, hey.
All right.
Hey, brats are always good for games too. So
Hey, but with some Jack Miller sauce on like a po' boy bun.
no. Nobody know what that is outside Louisiana. No one knows. Jack Miller's okay. So let's go into history. Let's go into history of Jack Miller's. Jack Miller's is a barbecue sauce from Louisiana. It is what is known in the barbecue world as a mop sauce. It has about 897 ingredients in it. And while being very good, make sure you have the antacid ready because it can give you some wicked heartburn.
Yeah, it's
add that in like as one of the spices, like antacid.
It should just have the antacid tablets on top of it. I mean, that's what I think of.
Come on, put some Tums.
Yeah, Jack Miller's is good, but man,
yeah,
but it tastes.
It has its place.
It sure does.
Okay, so let's talk about those meatballs. I mean, that kind of goes along with the sausage too, because you could always, slice up the sausage, throw it in with the meatballs and the cocktail weenies.
What is that thing people do with the grape jelly and the barbecue sauce and meatballs? I'm like, I'm not a grape jelly person, so that's barbecue brand doesn't like mayonnaise. Brandon D does not really care for grape jelly at all.
Same here.
I guess it's just burnout from a kid. I just can't do it. I haven't eaten grape jelly in probably 23, 24 years.
So I have a question for y'all.
Yeah.
What barbecue sauce do you put in with your meatballs and your weenies?
I know most people use that KC Masterpiece.
That Kraft honey.
I have not done that.
That Kraft honey.
KC Master.
Yes. The correct answer is whatever the hell it is you got in your pantry. As long as you got enough. Preferably a mixture.
Right. I got a quarter bottle of that honey. I got a half a bottle of that, what's that other one that everybody...
Mesquite?
No. That one...
Sweet Baby Ray's?
There you go. Sweet Baby Ray's.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Now, I will say this. You can, if you're going to cook with like a heavy barbecue sauce like that, because Sweet Baby Ray's is sweet. It's a sweet sauce. Thin it out with like something like you could put in like a half a beer or something in there to go with it and thin that sauce out.
Beer works. My brother-in-law Tim makes his meatballs and he'll throw in a can of like pineapples, crushed pineapples with the juice.
Yeah, we used to do all kind of stuff. Pineapples, bourbon works, any type of thing to kind of lighten that up, Say that's kind of like funny. I'm gonna lighten up this barbecue sauce with a bottle of bourbon, but okay.
Yeah,
it's a party, ain't it?
It is.
Okay, let's talk about maybe some dips. We didn't really go over any dips.
Oh, dips. Well, we talked about queso.
Are a big deal.
Queso is like
queso.
That's the king of dips. I'm sorry. I mean,
it is.
Sorry, guacamole. Queso is king.
Yeah.
Anybody want to
when
argue
queso?
with me?
When queso comes out, that's all everybody wants. Even if you got salsa out, like if you put chips and salsa out, I'm gonna eat some chips and salsa until the queso comes out, and then
that's right.
I don't touch the salsa anymore.
Right,
so I mean, there's in salsa like my suggestion, like you can buy really good salsas. Like Mateo's is a really great salsa.
Oh yeah,
there's all kinds of good salsa. The only salsa I'm not really a big salsa maker. I can make a salsa verde. That's probably the one I do the best. And that one you roast tomatillos with poblanos and jalapenos and garlic and onions, and then you blend it up, salt, pepper, cumin, garlic. Done. Super good, super easy. Jalapeno ranches are also make a great chip dip too.
Mm-hmm. It does.
Those layered dips too, that taco dip, man. We can't forget about that because you already have all these ingredients. You got some beans, you got some guac, you got cheese, you got sour cream. Yeah, you got all of that. You just got to layer it. Yeah,
we already talked about it.
So good.
We already talked about a bean dip. Hummus is a bean dip, fundamentally.
Fundamentally a bean dip.
Made out of chickpeas or garbanzo beans, whatever you want to call them.
I like the idea of having multiple options for dips, salsa, queso, bean, just hummus. Because it all of that hits your palate different. So you might want a little different taste of this and that. So you can kind of it's almost like making 3 or 4 different dishes but you just have the same concept.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And I mean, all these things pair well with, like you can buy like corn chips. I mean, hummus is great with corn chips too. Anything works with that. You want to do flour chips or you want to do corn chips, whatever you want to do. All those things work really well.
Absolutely. Oh, and something new, you guys. We can't forget about this. What about chicken cracklings? If you're around Lafayette, it's like the biggest thing
Kirk's.
right now.
Get them from Kirk's. Don't get them from anywhere else. I'm
you
sorry.
Need a Butcher has the best chicken cracklings. I will battle with anybody over this.
Mm-hmm.
They're number one. And they
yes.
I mean,
and I proudly wear their shirt around Houston. Chicken cracklings.
Just confusing people.
Absolutely.
I have to say, I told people a lot of people are non-believers about chicken cracklings. They're like, "Oh, that can't be good. That can't be good." It's like, is the fried chicken skin from Popeyes bad?
Right.
My question. No, right?
No.
How can this be bad?
Okay,
Kirk's chicken cracklings are great.
Let it be known that if you are listening to this podcast and you have no idea what we're talking about when we mention Jack Miller's and chicken cracklings and king cake and all of these different things, then that means you haven't been here and you need to schedule a vacation to come here.
Absolutely.
You need to. We can't just sit here and tell you about it. You just got to experience it. You got to just
Don't
feel
come
it.
in the summer. Don't come in the summer.
No. Stay away from around here in the summer. But like right around now, between now and May. In May is whenever you want to come to Louisiana for sure, and then in the fall time too.
Absolutely. Yeah. I always tell people, if you want to experience Mardi Gras, go to Lafayette. Lafayette has the best Mardi Gras. It's safe, like the surrounding areas of Lafayette too. But stay away from New Orleans. New Orleans, that's Mardi Gras Central. But if you want something a little less chaotic, definitely do Lafayette.
Yeah.
And then, Lafayette has the best food anyway. So,
Oh, yeah. Yeah, if you don't know what you're doing, if you come in here for the first time and you're not really familiar around this area and stuff, just come to Lafayette and experience it. Don't try to mess around with New Orleans if you don't know what you're doing.
Go to Kirk's. Go to Kirk's, get them chicken cracklings.
Kirk's.
They're the best. I'm sorry. Everybody. I'll argue with anybody who's the best. It's Kirk's. I've had Don's. I've had Hebert's. I've had
Best Stop. I've had all of them. Yep.
It's because Kirk's. The reason Kirk's are the best is because they're unbreaded. That's why.
Absolutely.
The breading doesn't really add anything to the chicken crackling at all. No. It's like, would you bread pork belly and fry it? That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah.
I don't know about that.
No.
It's too much, man. It works on fried. The breading works on fried chicken. It does, but not on just on the skin. That's the skin in the meat. So you have a different textural experience when you eat meat, skin, and breading. Rather than just like on chicken wings. But when you're just eating the skin, the fry is best just to have it as clean as possible.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Not to say everybody else's cracklings are bad. They're actually very good.
They're good, but
it's just Kirk's is the best.
Reign supreme.
No,
Absolutely.
I want pork belly. That's going to happen.
So we talked about a lot of appetizers, kind of dabbled a little bit in sandwiches, stuff like that. I mean, you can't go wrong with pizza. Pizza is like a major thing for the big game parties, because it's easy. It's one less thing that you have to worry about, unless you want to be a superstar and make pizzas at your house, which if you're not having a big party, it's not a big deal. But if you're having a big party, I suggest, calling somebody.
Well, flatbread pizzas are really easy and super simple.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So
you pre-buy a crust, and you can get some really good ones, and just make a pizza.
Absolutely.
Simple as that.
Repurpose some of that meat in your refrigerator too.
Some of
that.
That pulled pork.
That pulled pork. If you cooked some pulled pork recently, or even that day, throw some of that on the pizza if you're making it. Leftover brisket. Just pull food out of your freezer and throw it on your pizza. Everything goes on pizza.
Right. Exactly.
Let me ask y'all a question. Speaking of pizza, are y'all a pineapples on pizza people?
I am.
I could take it or leave it, but it's not disgusting like some people think it is. Although
it's not disgusting at all. Yeah.
No.
Interesting fact. It was invented in Canada. Hawaiian pizza.
Interesting.
That Canadian bacon and pineapple just go. It just goes.
It's a beautiful, beautiful relationship.
Yeah, and I know the Italians crap on Americans for a week, but we, like the big thing about Americans is like we generally don't give a shit. So whatever, dude,
We will fuse anything. Just
we'll fuse
as long as you know that before you meet us, you're gonna be fine.
Anything. We'll take anybody's food and turn it into a burger, a pizza burger, whatever. There's a pizza burger. There's a General Tso's chicken burger. I'm just telling you, it's all gonna be.
There's a cheeseburger pizza.
Hey, yo, that's crazy. Exactly. General Tso chicken burger.
Why not?
That's wild.
You telling me if I took a piece of chicken, deep fried it, coated in that General Tso's sauce, serve it on a nice bun, you wouldn't eat that?
I wouldn't be able to eat it in public. Because I'm gonna look, I'm eating that for sure.
Exactly. So I mean, like Americans, we fuse anything. Canadians, they're our cousins, so they like to fuse stuff too. Although they did do a weird thing with like gyros, like with donair sauce. I don't know if you ever heard of that. It's like a gyro made, but the sauce is made from like sweetened condensed milk. It's weird.
Oh.
Wow.
Yeah. Man, I don't know if you ever heard of that, but that's a sidetrack. We'll discuss that in another. That's like diabetes. That's a future episode. Funky fusions. That's gonna happen.
Oh God.
Funky fusion. I like it.
All right, so let's talk a little bit about desserts. You always want to have like something bite-sized for people. You don't want to be serving up a big old chunk of cake. For
cookies.
People. Cookies, yeah. Cookies. I mean,
brownies.
I can't argue with cookies. Brownies.
No pies. Nobody needs to eat nothing messy. Nothing that could fall out.
No pies.
It needs to just fit in your hand.
Look,
no cake.
Simple.
Yeah, look, let me just say it. The beer's flowing, the alcohol's flowing. Whatever is in people's hand is going to end up in between your couch cushions. So if you think you want to serve a pecan pie, think about finding that a week later in between your couch. Hey, look, the remote just fell between the couch cushions. I'm gonna reach up and pull up some week old pecan pie. You're probably not going to be very happy. So
going to.
I'm just saying this: if it's going to end up, if it's in somebody's hand, it's going to end up on your couch cushions probably. So don't serve anything that's really a mess.
Yeah, or go with the simple finger, foods
exactly.
And
just simple
cookies, brownies.
Keep it simple.
Apple pie, egg rolls. Hey, word.
I need that.
That's a good one. That's definitely a good one. But yeah, so let's talk about something else very important. What about the big game beverages? Of course, beer.
Beer, yes.
So I have my kegerator in the house specifically for that reason, just to make sure that we are not running out.
Right.
You pull that tap handle, everybody can get happy.
Exactly.
Yeah,
What's on your tap right now, barbecue brand?
A Beta Strawberry. I like a Beta Strawberry during crawfish season, which that's going to be an episode coming soon too.
Absolutely.
It just goes really well with crawfish, and it's just a great springtime beer. And, football. Yeah.
You can have down here. You can have a variety of weather for football games. You can have hot. You can be cold. Have a selection of people, but remember, this is a long event, so pacing yourself is very important. And this is why it's important to have food, because people don't need just need an alcohol fest for this. Especially our friends. We're older. We're 40 plus. We're not spring chickens. We're a little more fragile than we used to be.
I'm only as old as Jesus was. I don't age more than 33 years, so that's the rule.
Right. So I'm just saying,
I'm forever 33.
Just pace yourself. I will say something.
Right,
Margaritas are good. Margaritas are great. Have some whiskey around if you want. You want to make old fashions. Mm-hmm. You want to be like, I'll bring this recipe up. You won't believe me that it's good, but it is. and I got this from some Aggies, and you'll know why it's from Aggies when you hear this. Fireball lemonade. Sounds weird. Delicious.
It's really good.
Wow.
I could definitely see this coming out of College Station where boredom just must reign supreme because there's really nothing there. But, still a good town. People have fun. But, they get creative with the drinks, and Fireball Lemonade is a new one for me. But
it is.
It's actually pretty good.
It didn't seem like it would go together, but it does. And as the two of you know, Fireball has a very special place in my little heart.
I mean,
too special.
It sounds like a great springtime drink. You got Fireball for the winter, the lemonade for the summer. What's in between?
Yeah. What about daiquiris, you guys? I mean,
daiquiris are a good idea too. Daiquiris are easy and
by
delicious.
the gallon, just swing by your favorite daiquiri place.
Let's caveat: in Louisiana, they can be bought by the gallon. That screw top, that's a sealed container.
Mm-hmm.
It comes in a gallon milk jug. We used to pay $20 a gallon for daiquiris.
Dang.
I know. Sometimes you get them on special. I know they used to have Thirsty Thursdays, or
oh man,
I think they had specials on Sundays where it was like $17 a gallon.
So we used to love getting those things for like crawfish boils, man. Get some daiquiris. All that salty crawfish, man. Get something sweet. Wash that down. Can't beat it, man.
Yep.
Yeah. So what about some mocktails, you guys? Not everybody, may not want to or cannot partake in alcoholic beverages.
Or they're designated drivers. Yeah, that's true. Mocktails are a good idea. I mean, you could always do some fun things with, some types of, juices, and I haven't really done much with mocktails, but I've heard some really good things about them too.
Yeah, I did find a recipe for it's called a spike mule. So it's a mocktail. So basically, it's 4 ounces of pineapple juice, 1 ounce of freshly squeezed lime juice, ice, ginger beer, and a pineapple chunk for garnish. So in a cocktail shaker, you add your ice, pineapple juice, and lime juice. Shake to chill. Strain into a highball glass over fresh ice and top with ginger beer. Garnish with a pineapple chunk.
That sounds good.
Sounds pretty good, right?
The ginger beer kind of gives that spiciness to it. That sounds excellent.
That sounds really good. Absolutely.
Yeah, ginger beer has. I've been liking ginger beer lately. It adds a little something, a little razzle dazzle to some of the some of the mixes.
Absolutely. So after the big game, you guys, what's next? We're entering into the dry season of sports.
Oh yeah, baseball hasn't started. Football ends. That's a big. When football season's over with, it's a big deal for a lot of people. What do you call it, Brandon? You had a name for it.
Yeah, it's the honeydew time. What did I call it?
Honeydew season.
Honeydew season. That's what it is. That's when you get everything done that your wife wants you to do. Your significant other. Because you have the time now. You got the Saturdays and Sundays. The only thing that's really on is college basketball. Whenever March rolls around, you got March Madness, which is, if you're into it, it's fun. But it's just not football. So you gotta wait all the way until the draft in April.
I think what football is, it's such like a consuming thing on one day. You have one game a week. One game you wait for, and usually every football game is meaningful. There's very few like garbage games. Like there's a lot of games in baseball and basketball where people are just taking time off. It's like a winning team is taking on somebody in the basement. There's not going to be a whole lot of it might not be as competitive or exciting. So, in other sports like baseball and basketball, you don't have to really follow, every game. But when a football game comes on, it's an important one. You want to watch it. So I think it's a little bit more consuming that way.
Yeah. Football game 8 of 17 means a lot. And it can come back to bite you, or it can really help you. If you're watching basketball, game 47 of 82 is just don't mean as much. It just doesn't. It may be fun to watch. You may be able to get into it. If you're going somewhere to watch it or something, that's fine. But it just doesn't mean as much in the grand scheme of things.
Baseball game 76 of 162 is like, okay, one game, it's not that much, but baseball is just baseball is a different animal for a sport. You're really looking for the bigger series. The rivalries are really when the games are more interesting. Nobody really cares when the best team in the MLB is playing like the basement dwellers. It's like it's not going to be very interesting. But when the Yankees play the Red Sox, it's a big deal. When the Astros play the Yankees, it's a big deal. When the Astros play the Rangers, it's going to be even a bigger deal this year. So,
yeah. What I will say is this can also be a positive. It can also be a time to de-stress because as a Saints fan, myself, diehard, we stress a lot every week. And then we have to talk about what went wrong, why things went wrong, what are they going to do to fix it? And then we got to sit through it for another week. And then next week we're sitting through the same thing. And it's stressful. It's a stressful time. So it's a time to really de-stress, kind of re-look at things in your life. What's going on? Maybe reconfigure some things going on with your house. Put your thoughts and your mind elsewhere and let football rest for a little while before you go and stress yourself out for another 17 weeks,
I'm just going to say, since we're mentioning football, stressed out, all these things, the Super Bowl that should have happened but never happened, I'm not going to let this slide without mentioning the 2019 NFC Championship. The Los Angeles Rams versus the New Orleans Saints in the Dome. Did Brandon go away?
Is that bad?
Look, the computer didn't even want me to.
Yeah,
it didn't even want me to be here.
Look, I'm just gonna say, 2019, the Saints a good team, and I think the Saints were 13-3 that year or something like that. Excellent team. The Saints versus the Los Angeles Rams in the Dome. The worst call I have ever seen in sports in my life happened, and we didn't go to the Super Bowl. That Super Bowl doesn't even exist in my book. I have never watched it. I will never watch it. I will never watch a highlight from it. I will never watch a celebration from it. I never want to see the picture of Tom Brady's Super Bowl ring from that game because it was the worst. That's the worst call I've ever seen in sports. Watching sports since I was 7 or 8 years old, and I can't remember anything that bad and blatant.
Yeah.
It was very, very, very egregious. It was bad.
Clearly, the NFL had a little bit of the Taylor Swift syndrome with the Los Angeles Rams because they had just moved to Los Angeles, and the NFL's new big market team has to work, even though I don't think people in Los Angeles really give a shit about football.
At that point, at least.
It's like, oh, I'm a Los Angeles Rams. They just spent the past 20 years in St. Louis, and now you care? Now y'all got two. They got two football teams: the Chargers and the Rams. I don't even think anybody cares that much. People in San Diego care.
It was a bad time, definitely.
Oh man, I mean, it took. I'm still not over it. It was.
Yeah. I made homemade penalty flag earrings that I wore in protest for pretty much weeks after that.
And also, I want to say to everybody, as the Saints Nation responded, making that the lowest rated Super Bowl in a very long time.
Yeah.
The Saints Nation bonded together over that.
Yeah. It was bad.
As I've traveled around leisurely and for work, I've realized that there's a lot of Saints fans around the country.
Oh yes.
Like you can almost find a Saints bar in almost every state you go in. Like we're everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
That's right.
There's one in Austin for sure. They were big.
I made some friends from Austin, from the Saints. Yeah,
it's I got the street. Is it Lamar? I think it's on Lamar Street, and it has a huge Saints football helmet, or it did the last time I was there. It's been quite a few years on like the building. It was like a giant football helmet. So yeah, I was like, that's pretty cool.
Yep.
So
I'll end this with hope because on a positive note, I do remember this is the same jersey that I wore whenever I sat in section 610. I think it was seat 21. Tim, you can tell me if that's the right seat or not. When we were at the NFC Championship playing the Minnesota Vikings and we kicked the winning field goal to send us to the Super Bowl. I was in the dome for that.
wow.
And it was amazing. It was one of the best moments of my life.
That's
next
crazy.
to my kids being born and me getting married, I suppose. It was a special moment that I'll never forget. So I try to hold on to that. I try to hold on to these thoughts whenever I'm watching the Saints shit the bed every week. But hopefully we'll get better.
Going to rebuild.
That had to be one of the most stressful games in history, man.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was crazy. That was a weird year because I've spoken to many people. My buddy Mike Gretsch, he said the same thing. He made it to almost every single home game that year, and so did I. I don't know how, but I made it to every game except for 2. I even made it to both of the playoff games when we played the Arizona Cardinals on the first round, and then we played obviously the Vikings in the NFC Championship. So I don't know, that was weird, but it was a good year. It was definitely a good year. We need another one of those for sure.
Yeah, we do.
So, well, all right, guys, I'm gonna lead on into our end quote for the night. This comes to us from Paul Prudhomme, famous chef out of Louisiana.
Paul P.
Yep. You don't need a silver fork to eat good food. So with that being said, I want to thank you guys for tuning in for episode 1 of season 2. And we promise to keep you entertained for the rest of season 2. And that's about it, guys.
All right. Thanks, everybody, for listening in. It's been fun.
That quote was absolutely on point because we just talked about it earlier with that little plastic spoon in the little Frito pie.
Exactly.
Damn, Paul, you were ahead of your time. That's what I'm talking about. The South, baby.
There you go. All right, good. All right, good night.
Peace.